Okay, hey, how are you guys? Today I am walking to Brooklyn Museum. I am currently in the streets of Brooklyn and I'm heading there for their first Saturday event. They have it once a month, first Saturday of the month. And I am pretty excited to go because it's my first time going there for this event. I've been there before, and my goal is to go to the museum every weekend because as an artist, I feel like I really need to be connected to what's happening in the art world, and I need to always improve my knowledge, right? So even if it is a new artist or if it is an artist from, I don't know, the 1500s, or even if it's an artist from thousands of years ago, I just want to learn as much as I can so I can improve my own craft. So today I will be going there and recording my experience live. So later I can go back to my voice recordings and study them and use them as an archive. And you can also benefit from this because it's going to be a conversation to whoever wants to know the experience of an artist in a museum. I think it's pretty valuable for people to know other people's opinions. Maybe I'm gonna see things that you wouldn't have seen if you go to visit Brooklyn Museum. So today I'm pretty excited because the first Saturday of the month has a different approach to it. It's an event where there are a few things happening. There are some DJs, craft classes. Today they're offering a collage class and also they do screenings. I don't know how much I'll be able to see today because my parents-in-law are visiting. They are probably arriving in a few hours or in 1 hour, and I'll have time with them, spend time with them. So I'm leaving the event a little earlier, but it usually goes from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So yeah, honestly, I think I should contact Brooklyn Museum and tell them that I'm doing this. Because honestly, that's so good for them. It's good for everyone. I'm helping culture. Yay. Okay, I am pretty close to the entrance. So I believe I will record again whenever I'm inside. That's it. I'm pretty excited. I hope you like it. I hope I like it. Because I really want to study. You know, last weekend was my first weekend here. And I decided to explore one exhibition at a time. So I stuck to the first floor. And it was great because the exhibition wasn't too big, too long, or too large. But I was able to dive into the world of the artist. I can mention the name later because I don't know right now. I don't remember. But I took so much inspiration from that I really want to create something that is directly inspired by. Today is March 7th of 2026, and stick with me, guys. My name is Daji and I hope you like it. Okay, I'm finally inside. I arrived. The DJ had just ended the set. So right now I'm trying to find myself. Honestly, I'm a little lost. It's my first time here. That's it. I don't know where this stuff is happening. So let me check the board and then I'll tell you. Okay, now I can tell you the name of the other exhibition I saw here last week. The name is Red Rooms, Mimi Gross, and the Ruckus Construction Company. They were a collective of artists basically from the 70s who were creating stuff that is really cool and different. This is a different podcast. I can explain a little better because I also need to study a little more, but that's the one I saw last time. So right now I'm walking towards the education studio and gallery because they are having the workshop there. So let's check that out and I'll tell you how it goes. Okay, so I just realized the workshop is for kids. I mean, it's not really for kids. It's not saying anywhere it is for kids, but most people there are with kids. I saw a few groups that were just adults, but honestly, the vibe wasn't it for me right now, so I'm just going to the second floor and we'll see what I'm gonna see. Okay, so I just found something very interesting right when I arrived at the second floor. So here I see 3 different paintings on wood, I believe. It's oil, oh no, actually it's oil on canvas. So I just saw 3 different paintings, oil on canvas, that are from an Iranian artist. This floor says Arts of Asia, so yeah, it makes sense. But for me, these 3 paintings have a different meaning because for me, the Iranian people that were painted, so the figures that I see, look like me. I'm not from Iran, okay, I'm from Brazil, but I have some traces and features that remind people of Persians. And I'm always asked if I'm Middle Eastern. So yeah, the answer is no, but the first time I saw something like this was in Italy, I think, when I was traveling with my friend. Actually, no, I'm lying. I think it was in France, in Cannes. We went to this museum because we only had a day there. We took a cruise. And then we went through this museum. It was a smaller museum, but it was the outside was a little castle or a fort or something like this. And one of the last paintings that I saw there had a woman painted, and she was Iranian too. And I remember I was in shock, like my friend and I, we were in shock that it looks like me. It was so funny. I have a picture. Shout out to Sophie. If you're hearing that, Sophie, I love you. But yeah, so I'll analyze the paintings and tell you what they are. Basically, the 3 paintings are about, or at least related to, Islam. So it's basically explaining how Islam appeared in Arabia. And it tells it is both a religion and a political power under the leadership of Prophet Muhammad. And then it goes on explaining that not all Muslims are Arabs or speak Arabic, but Arabic language is important in the religion for all Muslims. It is also saying that first, when the West studied Islamic art, they thought all of the artworks were reflective of the religion from the 7th century, but they realized later that it also evolved with time, and it was talking about things that included the present, so different cultures, different geographies, different periods. These paintings were inspired by Persian literature, and they created a backdrop for convivial gatherings where poetry was recited by the host, his guests, and storytellers. So basically, from what I understand, they used to look at the paintings, and because it was almost like an illustration of a piece of literature, they would tell the stories and look at those panels as illustration. Okay, so now directly about the wall paintings I just saw. They are saying there are originally 8 panels. So that's why I was a little confused if it was canvas or not. But they are large-scale paintings, and they were placed in niches on the upper walls of the reception room. In this case, the paintings are from a mansion. And it's saying that the large paintings, in contrast to the manuscript illustrations, where the figures had large figures in scale in relation to the background, and light and dark tones were used to color the sky and the figures. Okay, so one of the paintings, the first one on the wall, it says it's inspired in one piece of literature, and that it was like a love story where a princess and a prince fell in love from seeing a picture of each other or an image of each other, and then one day the prince, that I believe becomes king, he encounters her naked taking a bath in the river or pond, and then she covers herself. So in the painting, they represent both of them, the prince and the princess, but also 3 more people that are servants and a horse, just to represent the royalty meant for the 18th century viewers. So their names are Shirin and Khosrow. Shirin and Khosrow. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. I do want to learn the names later. Whenever I'm out of here, I will look it up. Okay, the second painting here makes the story a lot more interesting because in the beginning, the prince and the princess fell in love, but they were not able to marry each other because Khosrow was obligated to marry the daughter of his ally as a political gesture. So Shirin kind of, like, she doesn't really like that, I believe. So she assigns a regent and retreats to a place in the mountains. So she lives isolated from everyone. But because I believe the area wasn't suitable for sheep that would provide milk, she requested a famous sculptor to carve a channel to bring fresh milk to her place, her palace in this case. So the sculptor, his name is Farhad, falls in love with Shirin, but her ex, let's say like this, Khosrow, becomes jealous and challenges Farhad to open a passage in the mountains for his army to come. So I don't know what happens next, but in the image, it's basically Shirin visiting Farhad while he works at the task. The painting shows her in a horse. He has an axe, he's carving the floor. It's very interesting how they depict the channel. Is pretty small, like a lot smaller than I would picture in my head, honestly. Okay, the third one is very interesting, okay, because the name is Hunter on Horseback, Attacked by a Mythical Beast. So this one is not connected to the other story or any known story, but it depicts a hunter. He's riding a horse and he's being attacked by this animal that looks like a weird dog, or I don't know what that would be. A very, very weird dog, I would say. And he's being bitten in the torso. And here he's also saying that they use a bunch of details that depict the 18th century. So, for example, usually the hunter would use a sword or a knife, but he's using a dagger. So the way it is painted reflects the type of daggers they were using at the time. So this one is an ivory hilted dagger. What else? It's saying that the clothing also indicates that, the black hat and the decorated saddle cloth. Oh, the pavilion and the backgrounds. There's a small pavilion, like it's small in the scale of the painting, but if you were considering it for distance, it's the correct size. But it's also saying that the pavilion in the background reminds of the 18th century. Okay, so this is pretty interesting to see. Now I know a little more of the story of the painting, and I'm pretty happy. The paintings have like a golden frame that has, it's like an arch, kinda, and also the colors that they use are red, blue, and green mostly. Some brown as well, and it seems that the coat that they use on the canvas, so the first layer, is a terracotta kind of tone. So usually in paintings, when you paint a canvas, you do a first hand of a color to tone it a little whenever you're painting the image. So the color is going to come through, and they're using terracotta. The paintings are not vibrant. And that's it. And all the characters are similar looking. They are somewhat realistic, but not ultra realistic. They're still figures, you know. You could think of it as like cartoon. Not a cartoon in the sense of literally being a cartoon, but it could be like an animated piece. You know, the complexity is not so advanced, let's say. Advanced in its own way, but not in a way that would be super hard to, you know what I mean. So today I came in a little later than I was expecting. Next time I want to come at 5 and stay for the whole night. But this time I came in a little later because I was working on a project. And also Lucas decided not to come with me, and I'm already leaving early because of my in-laws. So right now I'm at the lobby because I came here to see the programming. Yeah, I think in the meantime I will take a photo in the photo booth. Last time I took a photo with Lucas, but this time I want one by myself to capture this moment of me recording this voice note, this possible podcast, or at least this archive for myself. I'm pretty excited with this. Honestly, I feel like I've tried to create other projects during my life that didn't really happen because I didn't keep going. I'm having a positive feeling about this project. Audio notes are basically a way of just expanding my knowledge, my current knowledge of the museum. If I want to be a good artist, I'll just revisit these voice notes and I will remember the things I saw and I can reflect on it. And I think I was talking to my dad today and we got to the conclusion that choosing one topic or one thing that you love and becoming really good at it is a lot better than being scattered. You can have multiple talents and passions, but it's extremely important for you, for your understanding of the thing. If you're in love with the thing you want to know more about it and become better about it. So it's natural for you to have a curiosity towards this already. So, well, basically what I'm saying is that I just want to take a photo to this moment frozen in time. I'm in the Arts of Asia part again, and the first thing I see is some tapestry, I believe, from Japan. So let's see. Japan, deer mandala of the Kasuga Shrine at a period Edo. Edo? In Portuguese it's Edo. Okay guys, that's another thing. A lot of things, some like historical, for me, historical names. So when I think of like world history, I think of the history of Japan. Maybe I learned something in Portuguese when I was in Brazil, because I did most of school in Brazil. So sometimes I just mix them up, okay? Even though I also learn things nowadays, but sometimes my head just like gets confused. Anyway, I just wanted to apologize. I love saying, sometimes it's funny when I know I'm saying a word with an accent or in a funny intonation and I still like it. Anyway, so I'll read what it's written in here, okay? So Edo period, early 17th century, hanging scroll. Okay, it's a scroll, not a tapestry. You see, I need to learn a lot. Like I know what it is, but sometimes I don't know the names. It's not in the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's hanging scroll, ink, colors, and gold on silk. With its mix of emblems, this image celebrates the melding of Buddhist and Shinto religious practices in Japan, particularly in the ancient city of Nara. I didn't go there. I went to Japan, but I wasn't able to visit Nara. But I want to go back to Japan. I just loved Japan. It's so interesting. Anyway, where deer roam freely in a park surrounded by temples and shrines. According to the tradition, a Shinto deity rode to Nara's Kasuga Shrine on the back of a white deer. The deity and others are depicted here as the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas enshrined in the neighboring Buddhist temple. It was hard to understand the rest of the text. Yeah, I'm a little distracted, but I didn't like what I understood, to be honest. Sometimes for me, reading is a little difficult. Not difficult, but sometimes, you know, when you're in a museum and you don't absorb what you're reading because you're like stimulated by other stuff around you. So yeah, it happens to me. But anyway, the scroll is very interesting. I'll describe it for you. So let's start saying that it's a rectangular and kind of long. The colors are black, terracotta, orange, and gold, but like a burned color of gold or brassy gold, I think you can call it. So the outer frame, let's say, it's gold and has some embroidery. It seems like embroidery, but you know that classic pattern of Japanese art that they look like little waves or little clouds. So it has this pattern in the background and golden parts. And then the middle frame, because it's a frame inside of a frame inside of a frame. The middle frame has little flowers, golden flowers. It all seems embroidered. It's not saying, oh, on silk, okay. You see, I forgot what I said. I just thought about the hanging scroll ink, but I didn't think, I thought it was only ink. But no, it makes sense. I can totally see the difference in the textures. The figure in the middle, which is lamb, I think, or some deer. Oh, it's a deer. Yeah, I read that too. Okay, so the deer in the middle is painted with white. Of course, it's not a pure white, right? Whenever you're looking at this like this, it's probably like a cream, but it's supposed to resemble white. So this is the middle. I'm skipping steps. So I was talking about the frame that has golden flowers and little details in the back, maybe leaves. And then the next layer just has some I don't know how to explain, just a pattern. I don't know what it is. It could be a little symbol. It's a little symbol. It could, for me, it looks like a little frog, but I bet it's not a frog. So the next layer is already the drawing. It has a black background, and in the image is a deer. It has a tree coming out of the deer's back, but it's like the deer is carrying this tree, or this little bunch. It's a little bunch of plants. I don't know. So the deer is also wearing clothes. I don't know how to say clothes of animals like horses, but that. And it is on top of a cloud. And on top of the cloud, okay, yes. So it's standing on a cloud. So if we go back to the plant, there is a circle, like the plant is supporting this circle, and it's painted in a light brown or a little orangey color, but it's more of a brown. And there you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Buddhas, I think. That's what I understood at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deities, and I don't know if all of them are Buddha. Now I kind of want to know. I need to look it up. You see, I'm learning. Very interesting, this one. Okay, so we are finally done. I just stepped out of the museum and it was a really nice experience. The line to pick up my coat was kind of long, but it didn't take so long as I was expecting. So it's still okay. I just had to leave because I wanted to, like I said in the beginning, I want to have a reason to come back to the museum. I don't want to burn out, because I'm forcing myself to stay there and check the whole floor. So I only checked a few art pieces actually, and I also walked around Brooklyn Museum. My plan is to do this the whole year, every weekend. So let's see. But I'm pretty happy. I'm happy to have shared everything I said about the museum. I hope you like everything I said and it was entertaining, because I don't know, I think it's a unique thing to see someone walking through a museum that is so important and renowned, One thing that I was thinking while I was in there, and it's the same thing from the last time I came to visit, is that I think this museum is awesome. Their infrastructure is so good, it's so organized, it's very impressive, and it's really nice to live in a city that provides this kind of thing. In Rio, actually, I also had access to great museums, but I feel like Brooklyn Museum, it's not a regular museum from the US. It's really renowned, but it's just very interesting, and I really enjoy being able to walk from my house to the museum, I swear. So I know some countries have this as a custom, but visiting museums as just a hobby or a thing to do is so fun, because you're learning history, you're learning art, you're seeing things that are different from your own everyday life. So yeah, I'll leave it here, and I hope to see you next weekend. And I'm very excited to go through these voice notes and see what I have to share. Bye bye.